Yo, what up, Internet? My name is braV. Welcome to episode 21 of I Can't Produce a Podcast. I am joined today by my new friend, your guest for the next who knows, but my new friend, Leo. His name is LAF, or he likes to go by LAF. How you doing, Leo? Good to have you on the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So everybody who listened to that last tune, that was LAF's newest dropped 12 days ago. It's called Selfish. I like that track a lot, man. I think that goes, it's got some different sound design than I think like what you normally dabble in. Is it like the same tempo as a lot of your other shit too?
Same tempo, something new. I'm trying to, figure out my sound and what I want. I like a lot of different things, man. So I'm trying to kind of mush it together into one.
That one felt so like I feel like I can tell a lot of what your music sounds like, usually because it's got this. Screeching might like sound bad, but I really like it. Um,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
and this one doesn't have that like signature, if I call it like a signature sound in it, but I really like it because your tag is also something that I've fucked with since I first heard it because it's not annoying or like overt, like you're listening to laugh music or something like that. It's super clean. I mess with it. I know that in some of your other songs, like you just use a lot of laugh samples, and that
Yeah.
has solidified me as a fan from day one. Like I really appreciate that energy, and I'm like playing that during my sets has always been a good time because it's
Thank you. Appreciate that. I think it's just like I don't know. I enjoy using them. It's funny. I think it's fun using them too. But with the whole like sound wise, I know what you mean about that screeching sound. I don't know. I love bass music and stuff, so I'm trying to kind of figure out what I want, the direction I'm trying to go in.
yeah. So what kind of I guess so. I've been anybody who knows me or my radio show will have heard you on stuff like that I put out a few years ago. So you feel like you're still working on your sound even after putting out music for like I guess I started the call with like 5 years, putting it out on this project.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
I just
and
don't
I
know.
don't want that to sound like a bad thing. This
No.
whole podcast is all about like kind of beginner intermediate producer stuff.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
no. I for sure, I definitely don't think I found my sound, and if I did, I don't see it or I don't hear it. I don't know. I just don't know yet where I'm trying to go. I'm just trying to make music that I enjoy and that people enjoy, honestly.
Seems to be a common theme I've been about with bass producers. It really just seems like we're all kind of here trying to make interesting sounds for ourselves, which is honestly, I mean, to share, but stuff that think is really cool. Um,
Yeah. Also, I think music changes, especially what we all do, like the whole bass and EDM in general. Just everything just changes. So like maybe this time I can sound like this, and then like 2 years later I can sound completely different.
right, right.
Still bass, but it just changes.
It's I feel like it's bittersweet from a fan perspective to see um or having an artist kind of change directions with their music because you could always be like, wow, I wish they, sounded like they did for or however many years ago. But then, if the artist doesn't really want to be sounding like that, then there's a trade off. There's probably a quality trade off there. So I think it's important to stay true to the sound that you're to listen to like your heart, and if you're not making, if that trap hat doesn't sound as good one day, then maybe move away from it.
No, yeah, I know for sure. When I first started, I was like into dubstep. Then it went to like the whole trap, like Dr. Dirk trap. I remember I used to do type of thing, and I loved that. And then I got into more like again dubstep, and then like rhythm came out, like it became huge, and I loved rhythm a lot. Like most people don't say they do, especially I feel like in the industry we're in, like people would be like, oh yeah, rhythm's okay. Um, but I like it. I was like, okay, I try to incorporate this into my music somehow, and I tried doing stuff like that. So I feel like a couple songs prior, you can hear some like rhythm influence. I think I put them out a couple of them, but like it's not completely rhythm, but it has that same flow. And I guess I'm just trying to mash everything together to. I don't know. I'm trying to do it to be honest.
That's how I feel too with my production journey. I always feel like, how do I incorporate everything I've ever listened to in this one song? And
Yeah,
it's a difficult task.
it is. It is. It is.
So I feel like I kind of jumped in hot and heavy, bro. I don't know a lot about you. Where are you from? Like where when did you kind of start doing music? Did you start super young or did you start kind of later?
I think I was pretty young. Well, originally, I was born in Argentina.
So
Um,
I've been a fan for so long. I've seen your SoundCloud page change.
yeah,
Yeah, so like I saw. So you're from which part of Argentina?
it's called Rosario. So Rosario,
Rosario.
Argentina.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rosario.
So
Okay.
yeah. So like, if I'm a huge soccer fan, so if anybody is like, if they know like Messi, everyone knows Messi.
Yeah.
He's actually from the same place. So
Oh, okay.
I kind of make that like connection. Like, oh yeah, you know who Messi is? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm from where he's from, basically.
Yeah. And when did you move to
Um,
the California?
I was young. I was like 3. My parents decided to come over here when they were also very young,
Oh,
and
okay.
so
Yeah.
I mean I'm like more American than anything, but
Yeah.
came over here and just never left. It's like Argentina is pretty tough. It's pretty rough over there, especially right now, and so yeah, I just never decided to leave. And it's like we're doing pretty well for my parents at least doing pretty well for themselves over here, so they're like, there's no reason to leave.
Right. Right. My family is they're Peruvian immigrants.
Oh, nice.
But I'm first generation here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got tons of family back in Peru though, and yeah, it's just it's a different fucking
It
beast,
is.
man. Like,
Yeah, yeah. My little brother's first generation too. Yeah.
oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What
But
what's the
crazy.
what's the age difference between you and your brother?
He's 18. I'm 24.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
So,
not pretty
all right.
close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
nothing
that's
crazy.
like the same age difference as me and my sister.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, it's just definitely very different and very like I talk to my family. I try to at least from Argentina all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, spoiled over here. Just I feel bad, like over the years, like just talking to them and stuff. I always try to bring them out all the time as much as we can to like when they can.
Yeah.
Um, so just show them around and stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, keep the family involved, man. Like we so do you ever talk to people in or your family in Argentina kind of like about what you do?
Yeah, they all know I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
just
I've
that's
found it's like the older you get and not older you get, but it's like I've tried to explain it to my family in Peru and they're just like, so like you're DJing, like you play music,
yeah,
and I'm like, no, I press
yeah,
buttons. And they're
yeah.
like,
But like I am, I'm gonna like jump ahead. I go to college and school for audio engineering.
yeah.
So later on, I'm trying to do like maybe hopefully sounds or music or whatever I can for like movies would be cool or shows or just kind of get into that industry. Is still very hard to explain to them what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. What school are you repping, man? Like, because I did have a few questions written down here about like what you're learning in school, kind of like versus like what you actually bring to the production table.
So right now, I decided when I was younger, I think I was like junior, sophomore year of high school, was like I want to do this. Like I want to like make music for the rest of my life. And later on in college, I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is kind of hard. Not sure if I can make, because the other day, I hate thinking about this, but like, I need to make money also. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just like live off no money and it's hard to survive. Um,
Right.
so I need to make some type of income. And, I feel like it can be kind of hard with music. And if I don't get booked a lot of shows, it's gonna be even more harder. So I was like, hey, I have to find out something different. And I was like, you know what? I can do audio for movies and games or whatever. So I currently go to Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Cal
Um,
State, Dominguez Hills.
yeah, so it's up in LA. It's close to it used to be called the StubHub Center, so it's like where the LA Galaxy play. If you're kind of familiar with that.
I remember
Um,
StubHub.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like over there. It's about like 45-minute drive for me, but I go over there. I'm studying audio engineering. I'm in my last semester actually. I finished in October.
Oh wow. So
Um,
like so you're about to graduate?
yeah, which is crazy to me.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in school like all my life. So not going to school is gonna be like, whoa, like what am I gonna do now? Um, but yeah, so I'm just doing that, trying to live off that.
Yeah, well, I think it's not an uncommon goal to want to produce for like movies or TV shows or video games. I mean, music is it's almost it's kind of everywhere, and I feel like even me as a producer, I don't notice it all the time. Like I'll watch something
Yeah.
and I completely forget that, like, oh wait, somebody had to like go in, record this
Yeah.
shit, like probably
Yep.
put a compressor on it, and and then volume balance it. It's like all of that goes into it, and it's just, I feel like it's all over the place. It's you're constantly overstimulated with it, that it feels like an industry that's hidden in plain sight.
No, yeah, for sure. I know when I was uh at Dominguez Hills, I learned like, dude, music's everywhere. Like you can do so much. Like the amount of stuff that they showed us like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, like
S-
what?
like just how to like overdubbing, how to just how like it's just how music is, like you said, is in everything. Like somebody had to go in, put a compressor, volume match everything, just stuff like that. Music is everywhere. So they kind of like showed us and taught um how people use Pro Tools is like the industry standard, and
Okay.
how they use it in like this video game or this movie or this TV show or so on and so on. They showed us a little bit like live sounding, how to like just everything like audio, just to so we can get an idea of like what we want to do.
Kind of introducing you to like all the options before kind of like you
Exactly.
kind of pick some more specific routes. That's cool, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so I'm gonna, well, I guess so. Like, are there, has your school influenced how you produce at all, or like, do you remember, or do you remember like learning something in school and then like immediately going back and throwing it in your DAW?
Uh,
Just curious.
yeah, a lot actually, because a lot of the classes I took, or that they, yeah, I took mixing, mastering. A lot of them are like the teachers there are like pretty not big like mixers and engineers, but like they worked behind the scenes with a lot of great artists and bands. So they know a lot, and
Ooh.
then yeah, so they like, oh, like this plugin does this, it does that, and it's just like I learned a lot. I'm like, oh, when I go onto my Ableton, because again we use Pro Tools, I
Yeah.
kind of apply the same thing that I learned over there into my music, and it's just crazy how like cleaner my stuff is starting to sound just by what they're telling me and what I've learned from them.
That's really cool, having mentors kind of on the reg that have done exactly kind of like what you've tried to get your foot in the door to. So that sounds really exciting, like a good way to keep the dream alive, honestly.
Yeah, they're a bit like more older school, so they were big on like actual like hardware, so like actual compressors and EQs and reverbs and delays, and that was so hard for me because I feel like I come from somewhere. Well, most of us, I feel like, I don't know how old you are, but we come from like compressors, EQs, and everything just being on the computer.
Digital models.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
going from actually like physically like touching buttons, to like get the like a EQ going or compressor, it's like whoa, like this is. It made me realize how much I don't know about compressors and EQs and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, I learned a lot. It just sucks. I started Dominguez Hills right when COVID happened. So the
Ooh,
first like year, I know the first year has been like I am now, sitting down, learning from a screen.
yeah.
Um, and I just did not learn.
So
I
is
can't do
that,
that.
was that like a 3-year program then?
It was two.
Oh, that's nice. That sounds
Two.
cool.
I accidentally failed a class or two, so I'm kind of paying for it now. I'm not the best student. I'm not. I hate school, man. I don't like it, and it made it worse because the school, like those classes I didn't pass, were online, so I just couldn't grasp it and learn it. I just
Oh,
couldn't.
so yeah, it wasn't even like no, my sister struggled with that real hard with her first she started college like her first semester like right out of high school when COVID started,
Yeah,
and
same here.
she couldn't fucking do it, bro. She was like, nope,
No.
like fuck this, like I have no motivation to like go and learn
Yeah,
anything, and I get
100%.
it, man. Like, I'm a social I'm the same way. I usually need like a group of people to help me with shit.
Yeah, no. I kind of wish I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna maybe hopefully wait until everything ends a little bit, or school is kind of back in session. I kind of wish I did something like that, but you never know.
Yeah.
No one knew.
Yeah. So you went to Caltech, or yeah, sorry, is that
Cal
the right?
State Dominguez Hills.
Okay, Cal State Dominguez Hills. You went there right
Yeah.
after high school.
Uh, I went to no, so I went to a community college, and at the community college, I just did a bunch of music classes, like theory and stuff
Yeah,
like that, and
nice.
also hated it. It was just really hard to understand. A lot of ear training stuff, which I could help, but it's like, damn, like this is because I don't play instruments. A lot of people there, sang or playing some type of instruments like the piano, and with me, like I didn't really much have a musical background.
Well, yeah,
So
that's actually one of my questions. So you answered it right there. You don't play any instruments, huh?
no, I don't
That's
have the musical background. Everything I learned was learning from these past couple years, just
wow.
trying to figure it out myself and everything. I get so jealous of people that can play like an instrument, especially when they were young. I wish my parents like put me in like piano or something, Like I know I wanted to play guitar as a kid, but just never really like showed much interest, and that caused my parents to be like, "Oh, he doesn't want to, so whatever."
Yeah, like it's not
Um,
that big a deal. Or
no, they put me
yeah,
in soccer, which I actually love still to this
yeah.
day, and karate as a kid.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, but I wish I was like, fuck the karate, like put me in like piano or whatever, like whatever.
Yeah, it's
uh,
a double-edged sword, man. Because I've talked to because I my mom tried to get me in piano classes, and then I veered towards guitar or whatnot. But I was a huge fucking rock and roll fan, and so like
oh, yeah,
my dad was too. So like the second I'm like show any interest in guitar, he's like, "Yep, here you go." Like that's what we want.
that's funny because my parents are huge. Like my dad's like music is just like he's always listening to music, always. Um, so it's
Did
just like
did you kind of listen to any specific kind of music growing up?
just a
Or
lot music, like from Argentina, and then like obviously like my parents love like Mana and all those guys like from just all the Latin stuff, but a Latin roots for sure that I listened to as a kid. Um, but it just never clicked on like putting me in music. I just didn't show much interest. I was a very I don't know. I just never just I wish fuck I played some instruments,
well, when did you start producing? Because like I said, like I was going back on my SoundCloud, and you have a track on there from what it says 5 years ago, and I assume you started producing before then.
Yeah, so the way it started was I was like, okay, it was sophomore year of high school. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, like I wanna which for some reason seems forever now. Um and I was like, all right, like yeah, I wanna do this music. Actually I apologize, that's wrong. I got into like EDM. I'm gonna talk how I came into EDM during like middle school. It was like maybe my seventh grade, and I love that. Like, I love listening to music all the time. Always had my headphones on, always. And I would love like pop music, like that was kind of more EDM based, but I didn't really know what EDM was at the moment. I got
Yeah.
introduced by one of this girl. She's like, "Hey, listen to this guy named Dead Mouse. I think you'll like him." I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, why not?" Listen to Dead Mouse. I was like, "Oh, this is dope. This is sick." And then I found Skrillex.
Yep.
So that's like that's how it kind of like everything just like okay, well, hang on a second. Got SoundCloud, dug through everything. I was like, this is sick. Later on, fast forward to high school, sophomore year, I was like, I can do this on my computer. I can DJ. I can do this stuff. This is actually not like I watch YouTube videos, And I
Yeah.
got FL Studio, and then I started trying to make music, but it just didn't work out that great. I just kept like mixing on my virtual DJ
Yeah.
on the computer,
Yeah.
um, and then just did that. At the same time, I was trying to find a name, and I got LAF, which is me and my friends came up with it. And LAF is actually my initials, if people don't know. Um,
I had a hunch, bro, because
yeah,
I was looking at your name like just now, like before the
yeah,
show started. And I was like,
yeah,
LF, huh? There's something
yeah,
missing here.
yeah. A is my so my middle name is Alejandro, so
Alejandro. Okay.
that's where yeah. So that's where the laugh. It was actually DJ Laugh.
DJ Laugh.
Yeah. Oh man, I still get so much like people from like high school like, oh my god, it's DJ Laugh. Like it's just cringe, man.
It's such a meme, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. But then, so, tried to do music. I never really, I think I posted some stuff, but I never like, I deleted everything. And then I think I fast forward, maybe honestly close to like senior year or almost college, pretty much. I took off the DJ part. I was like, hey, let's actually make myself an artist. Like,
Yeah.
I was learning more about everything, I was like, let's I'll make myself just laugh and then go from there. And then once I started college, I got Ableton, and that's when I started learning more about bass music, and that's where I guess it started. So I want to say, yeah, about 5 6 years sounds about right. Where I feel like I took this really seriously and started into the whole bass music scene and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have any? Oh man, I mean, even if I went back that long, it'd be like hard for me to think of specific artists that I was into. But do you remember like any other or any like bass artist inspirations or any other musical inspirations that you kind of draw from?
From bass music,
Sure, or any musician really,
any musician.
because I feel like you can draw, yeah, because when you're making bass music, I like to try and incorporate like as many different ideas and experimental styles as possible.
It's a good question. That's pretty tough because I have like there's
Probably
a
a lot of
lot.
inspirations, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wish like I want to do more is maybe go more into like more of my like Latin roots from Argentina and kind of get inspiration from them and try to see if I can make music out of that.
So when I think of that, I think of or when I think of that and bass music like right next to each other in the conversation, I immediately think like trumpets, and like
Yeah.
yeah, and some of those like percussive things,
So
percussive
back
instruments.
then, yeah, back then I love I don't use my percussion stuff as much as I used to, but like during like my like when I made a lot of trap music, I would do a lot of percussion stuff. Like I would try to make my whole lead off the percussion sounds and everything. Um,
Your style is very rhythmic, like even with the like you have a lot of interesting sound design, but it's carried by the drums or a lot and by the I think that fatness that you kind of bring to
Yeah,
the table.
I like my shit loud. I don't know why. I just love just music when it's fucking just loud. I blast my ears just really, really bad, obviously. But,
I was gonna ask you
um,
that. So do you mix loudly? Do you think?
not anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
No, no. After the whole school and everything and learning a lot, I learned ways to like not, you can like maybe, yeah. How do I explain this? It's bad to mix loud, really bad. Because if you do mix loud, and you're kind of done with the track, take
Yeah.
off your master chain and listen to it. It sounds like ass.
Ooh.
It would sound horrible. I mean, maybe that's super bad, but it would sound pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it's better to mix quiet and then like kind of slowly start getting louder and louder from there. If that makes
I,
sense.
yeah, it does. I have a question. So do you think like if some of your sound from what you posted before came from you mixing loudly, do you feel like you had to figure out a way to compensate for that?
Yeah. Um, it was tough because I would like turn my shit up. It was like it's already maxed out. So I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. Well, like, because Ableton will be quiet, like nothing will be red lighting,
Right.
which you definitely can. Like some stuff would be red lighting, but still wouldn't be like loud as I would want it to be. So trying to like, I'd be like, fuck, like it's fine. Just like relax, take a breather. Like, don't crank it up,
Y-
because I produce a lot on my headphones.
right. That's where I've
Yeah.
started producing the most, dude. One of the one of the biggest mistakes I made was getting like a really nice Yamaha setup with like a really terrible room.
Yeah, yeah. That's just that's just something like it's nice to use your monitors. I have monitors. I have my Rockets. I never use them.
Yeah.
You have to also use them to like give your ears a break because having these on all day or I usually try to I make myself about 3 to 4 hours if it's like a good track,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just gotta take them off and listen to what you're listening to from like a different perspective.
Yeah, yeah, and I use them. I use them to bump a lot because, like I said, I started doing a lot of research, and once I figured out, I was like, I guess I'm not technically using these to their like fullest potential.
Yeah.
I stopped using them for mixing. But you probably mix and produce way more than I do. You have okay, so this is a problem I don't tend to have. When I was preparing for the podcast, I pulled up everything that I had from you in my
Yeah.
library, and then I went go to your page, and I knew I was a big fan, but had like half of your songs liked. You have a lot of music up, dude. And when I say a lot of music, you have a lot of quality tracks. So like, I kind of want to
Oh,
ask
thank
you
you.
about like your work ethic. Like, what do you force yourself to sit down and produce a lot, or is this like something that really comes easily for you for
Definitely
like
not easy.
finishing a track?
Yeah, no, definitely not easy. I don't think anybody has it easy. Honestly, it's these past couple months or even a year or two when COVID happened, like I had a really tough time, man. Just writer's block every time I would sit down and make music. I even like would game. Like I wouldn't game that much, but I started gaming so much more because I just couldn't make music and I wanted to do something, you know? I wanted to like that was like fun, you know, because I would got to a point where music making wasn't fun anymore for me.
Right.
Um, so that's why I feel like I also went more towards like mixing and stuff and everything. 'Cause I love music. I love listening to it. Just making it's tough. It's really tough. It's especially when you have writer's block. But when it comes to making music, for me, um, I would tend to do it when I feel inspired
Mm.
and sit down and make something. Or I before I would even like make a song, I would go through my SoundCloud, listen to a couple stuff, and kind of draw inspiration from them, and then uh, try to make something from there. Recently, I learned um, that sometimes you you shouldn't just make music when you're inspired. That could be like the wrong time to do it.
Really?
You got to sit down and just make music or make whatever you can. Like work on your craft. Like sit down, work on what you need to do. If it sounds like shit, it sounds like shit. Doesn't matter. There's sometimes where you think you're making a good song and you go back to it, it's like this is actually pretty fucking garbage. But like if you make something that's shit and you come back to it later, like, oh, this is actually not that bad. So,
It's kind of the curse. Yeah, I know that pattern.
you know, so I learned to you kind of have to make music, give yourself deadlines or give yourself like, okay, today I'm gonna make music, and you gotta make music, even if you're not inspired or you're like, I get mad or annoyed, like, 'cause I can't make something, like I'm gonna throw my computer out the window or something.
Yeah.
Um, but just gotta make something, even if it's just a sound design session day. That's totally fine. Even if you're like, one thing that I do a lot now is so I open up Pro Tools and I grab like maybe some old project files from class, or I grab like they're called multi tracks from like you can search them up on online, and it's basically stems, right? But you go and type in a random band or artist and search up one of their songs of multi track, and then drag it into your Pro Tools and start mixing,
Mm.
mix a song, like you know, and uh, try to make it sound hopefully better than what it sounds on the radio or something close to it. Like you know, learn, practice. That's what I do now. Like just I just it has to be music related, you know? Like when you want to sit down and like, okay, I'm gonna make music or I'm gonna mix like today, for example, I was like, I'm gonna make music. I have the morning free. Um, I am gonna make music. I couldn't make a song. I just couldn't do it. So you know what? Fine. I have these other millions of tracks I haven't finished or need to be mixed or mastered. I'm gonna sit down and mix them.
Yeah, so keeping your day music related is
Yeah.
probably inspiring, I feel like.
Yes, yes, yes. And you're at the end of the day, you're learning because like when you're mixing in something, you say like, oh, how do I do this? Like you probably just go to YouTube or something, right? Or just search something up. Be like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then you just boom, you learn something.
Right, right, right. And then applied knowledge, I think, is how I learn best when instead of like watching. I remember I used to do like training sessions for myself,
Hmm.
where I would like kind of pull up a kind of a YouTube curriculum I made, and sometimes those were good, but other times when they're not applicable, none of it stuck. And
Yeah,
so like I feel like actually doing it, practicing, mixing, and having problems that are tangible and like need to be solved, I think is much more beneficial than having problems that potentially need to be solved and potential solutions for these potential problems.
yeah, no, 100%. Also, another thing I've been doing lately is like I use a lot of serum. Maybe one day you can do like operator. Like operator's sick on Ableton.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what other VSTs, but like just use whatever. Like just maybe like I stopped using grain delay for some reason, and now I'm back into it because I don't know why.
Back on the
Like
grain.
just yeah, just like stuff like that. Just start making different sounds. Make a sample pack. You know, make some sound like just different bass sounds and everything. You end up using them later.
That's what I've heard. That seems to be the trend. Do you
Yeah, and
have
also
any? No, go for it. Go
in
for it.
in the process of making it, you also make a song. Just you're like, oh shit, I could do this, and then next thing you know, you just made a 3 minute song.
So you're saying kind of like it's a inspire, feeling inspired kind of comes from different techniques, sort of, instead of like
Yeah,
only finding it in releasing a song or producing a banger track.
yeah. Lately, I feel like before I just kind of just threw whatever I made that was decently okay and just put it out. Now I'm more like I got really just because I think of school because of how clean I would like hear my professors make their music would be like, whoa, like I need to make my stuff as clean as possible.
I bet. I bet. What is it? As your tools change, so do your standards.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I got that from Bioshock, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Wait. Oh yeah. So wait. What kind of laptop or computer are you working with? Are you Windows or P or Mac?
I tried so during COVID I tried to get a PC. I have
Yeah.
one. Um, it's dope for playing games. I love it. Try to make music on it. Not really.
Can't do
My thing.
it.
Nah, I can't do it. Now I'm using my MacBook still. I bought the new one that just came out. Not the M2, the M1. I
Okay.
bought like the highest one I could, but like
Gotcha.
the smaller one.
So all your stuff is mostly been made on a laptop.
Yeah, if I just feel comfortable. I don't know. There's just something about it.
Oh no,
I
no,
tried.
no, not dissing you, dude. That's awesome. That more power to you.
Because people are like, just use you have a PC. Like, use your PC. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I just can't make a tune. Like, I just don't like it. I enjoy my Mac.
I think yeah. So when I've always been Windows, but when I got like my real PC, like my fucking big boy, I
Yeah,
was I was faced with so many options that I've never had before. I've actually
yeah,
like I genuinely think that I mean, yeah, I'm sure you'll upgrade when you feel, the time is right, but I think that not having like as much processing power as like a legitimate like fucking spaceship setup has probably like influenced your sound. I know it's influenced a lot of producers that I know. They're just like, yeah, I can't load 5 VSTs at once, so it sounds like this.
You'd be surprised how much this new Mac can hold,
Really?
dude. Honestly, people I think are like you need to give it a shot or kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but
They're sleeping
dude,
on
like
it?
yeah, man. Like this new Mac that just came out, like the M chip, whatever they have going on, dude. This thing is strong. It
Nice.
can hold just as much as my PC can, if I'm being honest.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that's impressive.
I haven't really heard fans running. I haven't really felt it get hot. And before I would have like an old Mac, and I would. This is why I switched over to Windows because, dude, I would put Serum, and my computer would like just heat up. It would. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like, I can't make a like it hurts by touching my keyboard.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's hot.
legitimately painful. Windows, come on.
Yeah. So then, again, I still love my Mac. Like, I'm a huge Apple boy. So I was like, I'm looking at the new one. God, I was like, I'm so happy I did. I love this thing. And I enjoy like sometimes I can't. It's nice to make music outside your space. So, I have my little chair, my desk, and everything, and it's fun just sit on the couch and make music over there. It's fun to maybe like go outside and like in like the nature and make music out there. Like it's maybe if I'm just don't want to sit in my chair, I go to my bed and make music there. I made a bunch of tunes on my bed.
That's pretty. That's cool, man. Yeah, no, that speaks to me a lot because ever since I upgraded from my laptop like straight to my PC, there were times where I was not working and I was like, how do I inspire myself to make music right now? And I think that could help actually. Getting yourself out of your space, going to like I don't know, something as simple as sitting on my front porch is probably a good way to improve my sound or improve my
Yeah,
not my sound, my maybe my work ethic,
yeah,
inspiration might be the word.
yeah. It's dude. One day I was like, I don't really want to. I've been in my house all day. One day I was like, I don't want to be in my house, but I want music. I literally went in my car and like just made music in my car. I was like outside my house. I was like just making music.
Car beats, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I like that.
you know.
Gotta
Yeah,
get.
I enjoy a laptop. It's also just grabbing and going wherever I want to go and just sitting down. I could be at a park, just make music there.
So now that's I like that. And you probably have great weather all the time, right?
Yeah, yeah, over here, yeah. Yeah, I'm a little spoiled on the weather over here.
Yeah, that's so I'm a little bit about me. I'm out in Colorado, so I'm not totally on the East Coast.
I was about to ask you where you're from, where you're at.
I'm from DC or Maryland more specifically.
Okay.
And then I went to school in Wisconsin, Madison for the last from like 2016 to 2021 or 2020. I was there for like fucking 6 years. Um,
Damn.
and well, it was 5 years of school, 1 year of COVID, essentially.
Oh,
Just
okay.
being just being stuck out there.
Would you study or would you like major?
Computer science.
Nice. Okay.
It was pretty interesting. I just made friends with the smart people and had a good time.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Connections.
Yeah, but computer science surprisingly taught me a lot about music production because it's all about digital modeling. And once I
Hmm.
kind of figured out that programming VSTs is just modeling things off of like real life guitar pedals and things that I used to collect, I was like, all right, like that translates. That seems interesting.
Oh, that is so cool.
So I personally like I'm trying to learn. There's this one web library or
Yeah.
I don't think it's a language. It's a library called Juice. And I think it
Okay.
uses C++ coding language. And I'm trying to build a few like synthesizers. And eventually, I would love to build my own. I own a studio. It's called Schism Studios, and I would love to
Okay.
like release my own plugins and on top of all the sample packs and bass designs.
Dude, let me know if you get to that point. I buy them all, man. Like
Hell
that's
yeah!
that's super cool. I'd love trying new stuff. So whenever you do that, you let me know, man. I'll buy it off
Fuck
whatever how
yeah!
much, and that'd be sick. That's super cool.
Yeah, I never I was into engineering. I originally went to school for engineering, and then
Okay.
I got kicked out because I couldn't keep the grades up because I'm not a good student at either.
I feel you.
And that, I guess, like that engineering program was really competitive. You needed like a 3.5 to stay in.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was like
Holy
fucking
shit.
busting my ass over like a 3.0, and they were still kicking me out, or like a 2.9, and they were like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Dude, I left with high school with a 2.9, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like I was not a good student either. Or not even 2.9. I was like less than that. What am I saying? It was bad. Yeah, school is
It's
just not for everybody. It's
no,
tough.
it's not. I only survived college with my friends and because of like friends that I made. I'm not one of those fucking people that can just kind of lock themselves away and get work done and then socialize later.
No. No, no, no. I would like never understand people be like, oh, dude, I stayed up all night with this project. I'm like, really? Fuck that shit. I would just go to sleep at
Yeah,
like my normal time. Like, if I don't finish, that's well, that sucks. So who's not gonna get it? The teacher's not getting it time soon.
um,
Yeah, I wouldn't put like people would literally put like their like all their effort into one assignment. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good.
I could
That's my
never.
like. You're saying
No. It's your what? It's your
I was. It's like it's never like something I could do. Like no.
yeah. For me, I have to be multitasking like kind of at all times. So
Same.
the second that like I've procrastinated too long on a project, like I'm like, well, there's just no time like anymore because like I can't focus 100% of my efforts into
Yeah.
this. I'm going to need to split my time in order to get the best results.
Yeah. No, I get you. For me, like I got into the habit of like, which is bad, especially in like music. I still do this today, which is bad. Um, doing things last minute. And
Yeah.
when it comes to like music, you can't really do things or mixing and stuff. You can't do things last minute because like you have to like mix it and you have to like listen to every place you got that has like speakers, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, you kind of wait a couple days, I feel like, and listen to it again and see what else, like keep your ears refreshed, like give it a break and then go back to it. And so I would tend to do things so last minute. I would be like, oh, I'm releasing a song this day. Then 2 weeks later, I'd be like, well, fuck, shit, how did that happen? Like, that was 2 weeks ago.
I've got a weird question. Do you think so? Have bad habits kind of like influenced your sound at all?
um, it's a good question. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I know my bad habits for sure. Like, I need to break out of those habits, especially when it comes to releasing music. I got really bad at releasing music lately.
Really?
Like,
Well, I mean that
yeah.
newest track is only like 12 days old, right?
Yeah, but like for example, one thing I haven't done yet if like if you hit like free download and stream on there, like it has like the fan link, it only has my SoundCloud and Twitter. I'm like, I have that song on Spotify. I have that song in like different places. I'm just so fucking lazy to go and like put it on there. And I've been telling myself for the past 3 days I'm gonna do it, and I haven't not been doing it.
Right.
So I definitely hate myself for that. um, but I mean, I just gotta break out of it. I don't know. Put more effort into this.
My SoundCloud isn't loading, but speaking of bad habits, do you know the artist Bad Habit?
Of course, Sam.
Okay,
Yes.
Sam. Oh, okay, okay. Here it actually is. Okay. I thought for some reason I thought your song "Alien" was a collab, but it's not.
No, no,
No, it's not.
it's out. I do have a collab with him though.
Really? Is it
You didn't
out?
know that.
Yeah.
It's pretty old. It's Drought. There it is.
Drought.
Yeah, it's on some label too. I don't. No, it's on his page,
Oh, cool.
but it's for a compilation. Inquire Reworker. That's what it was. He's the one that talked to them and stuff. But
Gotcha.
um,
Oh yeah, I have it. I have it liked here. Nice.
yeah, they're pretty good. They had 29.7K. That's pretty good. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I've known him through it's this guy, and if you know who he is, oh excuse me, it's not it's Kure.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Kure, yeah, sorry, I
I talked.
apologize, not
No, I talked. I
yeah.
talked to them a bit on Instagram a while back, and I haven't. I wanted them on the show for such a long time, but I've been ghosted,
They're amazing.
unfortunately.
Oh,
Actually, no, no, not for that long. Or only recently I've been ghosted because I talked to them about when I was putting them all on my radio show. Like I gave them shout outs and whatnot, so we're good.
they are amazing. She's awesome. I'll talk to her. But I've known her for a while because she's actually from the same place I am in Orange County, and we both went to the same high school. We didn't know each other though. Like, we didn't like
Oh,
talk.
really? That's
Yeah.
really interesting. That's cool.
We never. So it's funny. So me, her, and then something something, and then Player Dave, and then I don't know who else that I know personally, but those are the four I can think of at the moment that went to San Clemente.
You're
That's
fucking
where I went.
lying. Are you
Yes,
serious?
yeah. I know
Wow.
Player Dave and something something are really good friends from like a long time ago. Later on, I found out that like, oh shit, these kids went to my school, which is hilarious. I never really talked to them.
Dude,
I talked to them
what
here
is
and
in you
there.
guys' water, dude? What?
I don't know. But we were all like, none of us were really like we know of each other, and we said hi here and there, but never like good friends. I became really good friends with Kure, and she like we just made music together all the time. We never released stuff, but we made music all the time, and we had the same like love for music, like that bass, like we were huge fans of something something, which is hilarious, and um
That is really
yeah,
funny, dude.
it's funny. Yeah,
And
we all
when,
came from the same school.
that's insane. Like how close are you guys in like grades together? Like were you all at the same? Were you all at school at the same time?
They're a year or two older than me, I think.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Weren't-
I think that Player Dave is the only one that's like my year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So they graduated in 2015, I think, and I graduated 2016.
I think when did I graduate? Oh, 2015. Yeah, I graduated
Oh,
2015.
okay,
Yeah.
so you're pretty much the same age as them.
Yeah, I'm 20. I just turned 25.
Well, happy birthday, late
Thanks.
birthday.
No worries.
But yeah, it's funny. Like I tell people that they think it's like, what? No way.
Yeah, yeah. My mind is piecing itself back together right now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fun. It's even more funny, I think, because we all like had to make like we're all in like the bass music stuff, which is even more funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, out of all the places to run into somebody, I think like performing at a bass club would be hilarious.
I
Like,
know. I mean, we played. I know something had a show a long time ago. He tried to like make a whole like weekly thing or like every 2 week thing, and in San Clemente, which is where we're from. But like, it's just that scene is just dead out there. Over here, it's just not. It's not a thing.
so I was gonna ask. Well, we were talking about Cure, right? And that's how you got
Yeah,
in touch
sure.
with Sam.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Sam.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
so
it's
I got
fine.
in touch with
I'm
Sam.
just walking it back.
Yeah, I got in touch with Sam later on. Before Bad Habit was two people, and I know
Oh,
I
really?
met.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a
Inside scoop.
long time ago. Um, So I knew both of them, and Sam took over everything, and yeah, we just like became friends. Like we talk. We don't actually talk as much as we used to, all of us, just
Yeah.
because I don't know. Just I feel like one thing for sure about myself that like regret was maybe not trying harder in the scene because I felt like they really, really, really blew like kind of not blew up. I would say blow up, but like they really progressed. I feel like we all kind of started making music at the same time, and they really progressed. And later on down that road, we met like Yo Joss. Then we met him.
Big fan.
Yeah, huge fan of yeah. So again, he also has been blowing up and stuff too, and like super proud of all of them. But I was like, I always get like, damn, I wish I kind of stuck to my stuff a bit, like my shit more.
Well, that's interesting to me because do you think it's like been like production skills they've one upped you in a way, or
um,
because I know I can think of a Player Dave song right now and in a something something song where like I definitely have them in my library and they're really cool, but I don't know why I guess they would have blown up rather than yours. Is I feel like there's a little bit of a luck of the draw there, you know, like sometimes
no,
you get
yeah,
yeah
all that stuff's always about luck. Is always plays a huge part in it. I think production wise are a lot. They were ahead of the game for me for sure. I think
really
they still are. I think so. I personally think so. The stuff that I know now, it's like I feel like I'm getting close, but for sure with them, like they definitely like were ahead of me, ahead of the game. Especially I feel like with something something like he kind of like when he started making those wubs and stuff. I feel like everyone kind of remember that one like time people were trying to like kind of copy a sound a little bit,
yeah yeah of
Yeah.
course
So he definitely like was up there for sure. And I think honestly, it's where they live and who they talk to. That is the biggest thing of them all.
Do they all still live in California?
They all live. They're up in LA. I'm pretty sure. I think
Okay.
something's probably here now. I'm not sure. I don't talk to them too much like I used to, but
Yeah.
I know those guys all went to LA. They all went to a school up in LA called Icon Collective. For people that don't know,
Yeah.
and they like all talked. It's just like connections, man. Like that's huge. That's one thing I lacked. I wasn't shy or anything. I just never was like. I think it's just lazy. I just never like because they told me, oh, they just go out to clubs and shows and talk to people and they all make connections somehow. The next thing you know, they help them up. And I never did that. So that was my biggest like flaw
True.
for sure.
Oh, so like the kind of the next step in socializing. That makes sense. It's always been a who you know business, not what you know, or
Yeah,
it's
it really is, especially up in LA. Like people don't realize like being close to LA I think can kind of help.
yeah.
Um, Now I think it's a bit more like if you're making dope music, man, it'll find you. But being up in LA, talking to people helps a lot. Discord is also became a huge thing as well.
Yeah. So the little story behind I Can't Produce was I started really getting into Ableton when I was like 19 years old. So like
Nice.
I feel like you and I had the exact same progression, but when I discovered Skrillex, I was 15.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so
Well,
I just a few years delayed. So like, when essentially what I did is I locked myself in like I rented a room for my fraternity and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking like be really loud here all summer long and nobody fucking bother me. And they were like, yeah, you got it, bro. And that didn't work out, man. I needed like friends to like kind of help me and like throw ideas back and forth. And I just remember it wasn't as productive as I thought it was going to be because all these people that I was hanging out with, man, I guess they could just like grind out work and then show up, for class the next day. And I tried to apply that method to production and I failed miserably. I was like, I knew that I was not making strides. I was just taking baby steps every single day. And
you
it's,
definitely got to do it your own way. Yeah, you can't take like other ideas from people. Like you got to do it your own, whatever feels more comfortable to you.
well, I think, and then later on, once I realized, once I started getting better, I started getting better because I was interacting with more people who knew what they were doing and
Yeah,
more people that I could talk to about, specific questions. So I Can't Produce really just started as like a community where I was like, damn, if only I had, a community or people to talk to when I had first started. and really didn't have any clue what was going on.
The cool thing about the stuff that we do, music, like there's no age to it.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
be 30, 40, and you can just blow up. It's fine. As long
Yeah.
as your ears are working, That's like the one thing, like make sure you take care of your ears and stuff, and your health and everything, like take care of yourself, especially like I feel like I'm realizing that now because I'm like I hit 24 and I feel like I'm getting like just like, whoa, man, my body's not the same I used to be.
Yep. Yep.
um
Metabolism's
so
a little bit slower for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've always been a super, super, super skinny kid. Like literally when COVID happened, I just started eating and not really being active as much.
Yeah.
And dude, man, like yeah, just for sure take care of yourself. And I think never give up on like what you're trying to do. Like just never give up, just keep going at it. It'll come eventually or something, or you'll get to a point where like, you know what, like I didn't kind of get where I want to be, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Right.
So that for sure, you'll everyone gets there eventually if they just put like was it the 1,000 hours into their craft, right? Is that what the thing is?
I think it's 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's
10,000
fine.
hours.
It's fine. I was talking, Typo brought that up actually when I had him on the show.
Oh really?
Yeah. 10,000 hours to master the craft.
Yep. Yep. And I feel like again, things are changing every single time with music and everything. So like even when you think you got something down, something new comes up, and you got to like put the 10,000 hours into that new thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Music industry wise and sound wise is changing so rapidly nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because so I had this small, like, not epiphany, it was kind of like an existential dread when do you know that Seabat meme now?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy on Reddit who like had okay, there's a guy on Reddit who like had a Sexy Times playlist, right? And fucking Seabat or like some one bass song was on there from like 2009. And he said the post blew up because his girlfriend hated it so much that she broke up with him essentially.
Oh,
And so this song has just been, wait, hold on. I'm going to play it. I don't care if
yeah, do it.
yeah. Here, I'll share my screen with you quick.
Yeah.
Back. Bring it back. But yeah, no, I'll play it quick. Everybody on the podcast will be able to hear it too. Anyways, it's basically a bass music song, and I was like, oh no, the bass music has been thrown into the spotlight. Like, what's gonna happen next?
Oh, I think I know what this is.
YouTube, please don't copyright strike me.
Dun, 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 dun.
I felt like that got thrown into the spotlight, and all of a sudden people were gonna start putting that in pop music now, or like more sound design in pop music. I'm scared of the normies touching bass music. That's where I'm coming from.
That's so funny.
I don't want the normies to discover bass music.
That's funny. What was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought.
All good, bro. You do have a chat right here from looks like Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your bro.
Yeah, he's always supporting me, my little brother.
Hey man, that's that family support. Hey, good to see you, Martin.
he
Hope you're
always-
still here. He says that you play violin.
As a kid, yeah, in, like fifth grade, you like play an instrument. So I guess she was talking about. I think she was here with the whole instrument part, but yeah, I guess I did play one instrument as a kid, the violin. But like that's like something you're forced to do, At least here, I don't know if it's everywhere, but when you hit like fifth grade, I think or something, you have to play an instrument.
That happened to me, and I actually picked violin in fourth grade, and then I moved on to cello in fifth
Okay,
grade.
yeah, I did. Yeah, that's what it was. I just took the violin. 'Cause I was like, oh, whatever's easier.
Dude, that is I can't believe my parents let me like keep doing that. Like that's got to be the worst, one of the worst things to learn in your basement.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, I don't even. I wish I wish I really felt the love for music during that time because I would have been like, what's this cool? I can probably learn something different now, But obviously, it didn't go that way.
So, I guess I wanted to ask you. All right, we're talking about the music industry, and I've had this question a lot for the people I've interviewed. So we talked about it earlier. You said that you kind of your goal is to get involved in TV shows and movies and production, like high level production stuff that fucking pays a paycheck. That makes sense. What does the future of like this LAF project like look like when you think about money? Because I feel like it's everyone has a different approach nowadays when they're thinking about like how to make money off of their passion project. Hardly like it's hardly just putting out your music and getting plays. Like you have to be so big in order to make that work. So I feel like everyone is just pursuing different directions, like getting creative with show ideas, getting creative with like sample packs or their following or merch. Like I'm just have you thought about kind of what monetizing Laugh would look like?
Um, yeah, I thought about it. I guess it plays again with the whole part of like just probably being lazy, which is like shitty to say that, I guess. But at the end of the day, like I don't want to focus too much on stuff. I just want to make music and just have people enjoy it, and then play shows, and then everything else would probably come later on.
Right.
Um, I guess I feel like I'm not in that level yet, or I don't have the fan base enough to be like, oh guys, I just made a jacket or this or that, and I feel like maybe I can probably name a couple people that'll pay for it,
Right.
but uh, that's what I feel personally. Maybe I could be wrong, but I just don't think that I'm just quite there yet.
So outside looking in, I think one of the strengths that bass music has, or maybe our scene that we're kind of involved in, is
Hmm.
fan loyalty. I feel like it's much stronger in this scene than it is in a lot of other scenes.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah, which is
So,
really nice.
yeah, like 4,000 followers, or even 10,000 followers. Like it's to most people, like if you just pick your Joe Schmo off the street and you show them someone with 10K followers, they probably don't think anything of it. But I
Yeah.
see 10K followers and I'm like, damn, this man's working.
Yep. Yep. That's I think that's for me is my goal personally, where I'm like, okay, now it's time that I feel like I got the 10 people, 10,000 people, followers, whatever. Now I think I can actually my name. What's the right word to say? Like, not matters. That sounds like, but it's there. If I go to some like with 10,000 followers, I feel like people kind of heard of you or know about you in some type of way. You know what I mean? That's a personal thing.
Right.
And I feel
Well,
like
it's kind of
there you
there's so
can
many
start.
more implications with 10,000 followers now that nowadays that means like you probably have releases on like two or three different labels.
Yeah, that's true too. Um, but I feel like another big thing is because people say followers don't matter, and it doesn't matter really. You can make great music and have like 2 followers,
Yeah.
but um, uh, I don't know. I forgot what I was trying to say there. I just lost my train of thought again.
No worries, man. It sounded like where you were starting off was like that really hasn't been a focus of yours, which is refreshing to hear. Not refreshing. Like I said, it's been different for everybody that I've talked to. Like some people are just like, yeah, I really want to build this brand and see where this goes. I'm going to release sample packs. I haven't really talked to many people about merch, but that's a little antithetical to what I'm like why I ever wanted to produce music. Like I got into music and the last thing I ever wanted to think about was selling somebody a t-shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to just make music and have people enjoy it, and hopefully that music would bring me to play more shows later on because I enjoy like DJing and stuff. I've always did. Even though I get nervous as shit, I still enjoy it. I had a lot of bad moments DJing lately, but
Really?
recently, yeah, just bad moments and just like I wasn't happy with how I played. This was to me horrible. I did not like it at all.
Gotcha.
And people said they still liked it, but I was like, personally, I didn't. But I appreciate you coming out and like listening.
Right,
Um,
right.
but lately, I kind of got a grasp of it better, and like I've been enjoying myself a lot. I think it's the whole nerves, man. I get really nervous really quick. Like
Can
I'm
we-
nervous talking still right now.
Wait. I don't want to pressure you. If you're not comfortable about talking about those experiences more, that's fine. I think I'm more of a DJ than I'm a producer. So like I'm
Yeah.
I'm pretty curious about what was going on there.
In like DJing wise.
Yeah,
Or
like like what shows were you playing? Or are there any specific shows that you played where you were really disappointed with how things went on your end?
Yeah, actually, yeah, a couple shows. Most, almost most of them. I was never really happy with myself. I was just like fuck. If I could have played better, I fucked up here. I know I messed up there. Stuff like that. Like I know I had this one show up in Corona. I was so stoked about, and I played, and I was like, that was not. I just want to leave. That was not what I wanted to play. That was not. It was just not a fun time for me because it was a great fucking show, great atmosphere. I want to go back so bad now because kind of I feel like I can do better, but it's just the nerves kind of get to me. Um, Even the last show I played was in LA, and I feel like I lack. Maybe I'm too all over the place because I love so much different types of bass music. I play like a lot of just trap and then rhythm and then dubstep, and then I think it might be too over the place. So maybe I can need to stick to maybe one consistent maybe genre a little bit for most of it, not just kind of go everywhere. Because I play everything that I like at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I really know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've noticed people were like they're fucking with it, and then I got to like one song, and they're like, okay, and then the next song, like, all right, and then they kind of left, and they came back later. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Right. Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. You
really
kind
saw
of
it.
you want people to stay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta really be a DJ at that point, which is their job is to like get people to stay there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
bring over a crowd. Like I've seen a lot of DJs like, um, for example, like festivals, right?
Yeah.
When like some random guy plays or like whatever, and then some people leave to go see somebody else, but then they are so fucking talented, they start attracting those people to come back because they're like, oh, this guy's fucking sick. Why did we leave in the first place?
Right. Yeah. It's one of my
So
favorite feelings.
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. I'll never forget. It was I don't know what year it was, but it was Mr. Carmack was playing at EDC, and people just fucking left, man. And he brought them all back later on. Like it got crowded again.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was like a crazy. That was back in like 2017, maybe. I went to EDC for that.
I
But
was
yeah,
I was
just
talking about Mr. Carmack yesterday actually for a bit
oh really?
on the show. Yeah, go and listen. You find that Easter egg.
Oh yeah, love Mr. Carmack. Another person, super dope
Oh,
playing.
wait. This is actually pretty relevant. So I was actually talking about how last time, maybe the only time I've seen Mr. Carmack was like less than a year ago. He had one of his CDJs wasn't working, supposedly.
Oh.
Just kidding. It was probably not working. And there was there was straight train wreckage for like 10 minutes, man. And like he caught back on. And that led to a conversation yesterday with Archer Beats. Like we were talking about like live performance. Like is it good to plan out your sets essentially? Like is it good to like not have any potential to fuck up versus like having a technical error that destroys your set for 10 minutes? Like what is worse at this point, you know?
I think it's good to know your songs and you're like sure you can practice your set, but at the end of the day you're a DJ. So like if you know as you're playing a couple tunes that people aren't really feeling it, maybe the next one you'd be like, you know what, this one sounds too similar to this other one, and they weren't really feeling it. Maybe I'll skip that one or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, at least that's what I've kind of noticed. Like, cause I've noticed I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play. Like, I think in this industry that we're probably in, or the shows that I play,
Yeah.
it's like kind of iffy sometimes to play a rhythm song.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I
Some
always
people.
feel like rhythm is like especially in the not in the bass scene, but I feel like if you're in a ratchet ass club, if you play rhythm, you're safe.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of bass like shows. I haven't really. I
Oh,
think
cool.
I would probably fit. That's where like I had a moment where I was like, I love bass music, but like I don't know if I could um, play so many shows like with a bunch of bass artists because I play a lot of stuff that's like not that you would probably would hear at like some random like festival, like Insomniac festival type thing. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah,
Does
like
that make
not
sense?
not super experimental bass.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm yeah. So like I think also another thing that I need to work on as well is when I have one of those shows is I plan my set or get the songs right where it's specific to those people or that like type of environment. Because I've always been like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna play whatever I want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it always hasn't ended to me personally. It hasn't ended too great.
I know exactly what you mean. I was a bar DJ in Madison. So
No, nice.
And I remember I got that gig right before my senior year of college. And I was super stoked and excited about it. And I'm sure I've shared the story before, but the reason was because I thought, finally, I'm going to change what people fucking listen to. And that was, I had a rude awakening because there's a difference between playing at a festival where people are open-minded and on too many drugs to like form coherent sentences, to playing to a bunch of drunk college students who are who are drunk and stuck in 2010 for some reason.
Dude, oh my gosh, yes, I know what you mean.
And so like not only can they like form sentences telling me that I suck and need to play Taylor Swift, but I suck and I need to play Taylor Swift.
I've done that. I've done that. I was kind of like the high school DJ at one point. Not like when they had parties on Fridays and stuff. I would go and DJ here and there, and dude, same thing, man. My whole set would be from just one chick telling me what to play next.
Yep.
You know, some drunk girl being like, "You play this next? Play some fucking, I don't know, Nicki Minaj." I was like, "Are you sure?" And then, like, I would literally have like the person that was running the party just listen to her. All right, that's fine. I'll play whatever she wants me to play.
Yeah,
So
it's
I get you on that.
the job of a DJ. It's a lot of things, and sometimes it's absolutely goddamn nothing.
I think that's where I kind of got the whole like, oh no, this is my show. I'm playing whatever the fuck I want to play.
Right.
So I definitely need to break out of that a little bit too.
I had the idealization thinking that like probably every show that I went to, it was just an ignorant assumption. Every show that I went to, every artist I ever saw perform at a festival was playing exactly what they wanted to. Like that was just what I had like ingrained in my head. Like I didn't think that they had maybe prepared like a set for this specific crowd. I was very ignorant. Ignorance is
It was
bliss.
so funny. They were talking about this. This kind of also felt like the same thing. Last festival I went to, was it Nocturnal? I think it was. I think it was Nocturnal,
Yeah.
and it was all right. Like, I'm starting getting over the Insomniac festivals a little bit because they're just like, I don't know, just music taste. I don't know, just kind of getting over it a little bit. But um, I remember I saw everybody and was okay. I saw a couple guys. Sylvan King was dope, and then what's his name came on. It was I'm looking at Liquid Stranger came on, right?
Nice. Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm probably gonna expect the same thing as everybody else, like just dubstep, classic dubstep. No, man, I heard that was my favorite set I have ever listened to in my life. He played weird, just like experimental. I'm a sucker for those like robotic, glitchy, like those like high pitched sounds, that maybe you probably can hear in my music a little bit. Like I'm a sucker for those things. And he played like people were like not really vibing too much. We're like, whoa, what? It just got really weird. They probably thought, right? Dude,
Yeah.
I loved it so fucking much. It was the best that I've ever heard in my life at a random festival that I really wanted to go to, which was Nocturnal.
Not Nocturnal.
Nocturnal Wonderland, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, he played an insane set. I feel like he did because in the beginning he did mention like, okay guys, I'm gonna be a little weird. I'm gonna play whatever the fuck I want, and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. In my head, I thought, right, you might just play some like stuff that you like, but like still has to meet like the kind of the vibe of everybody
Right.
there,
Yeah.
But no, man, he went a complete different direction, and it was like that was sick. So that's like, I guess sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I remember like looking around and see people just like stand there and not really like messing with the set, fucking with the set too much. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Like
So
maybe it's I feel like Liquid Stranger is one of those artists where I don't go to a Liquid Stranger set to dance, if you know what I mean. Like
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I don't know what it is. Like it's not like he's unreliable or anything like that. It's just
Of in Serum specifically, well, another plugin I also use a lot, or VST, whatever. I think now it's starting to get a lot more bigger. It's Operator. Operator's
Operator.
dope.
Yeah.
Operator is also really dope. In Serum, nothing crazy, just normal, typical stuff. Just two oscillators and everything. Like I don't do anything crazy. I feel like I'm still need to work on myself a lot. Another big thing is probably like sound design wise is resampling.
Resampling.
You can do a lot. The Kilohertz bundle,
Yeah.
has a lot of dope like my favorite one for that bundle is like the Big Crusher, or like the delay or format filter, and there's a resonator. So you can grab a sample and just like completely just mess with it heavily, Especially Ableton has like that whole feature, where you could just the texture stuff you can do and everything. Um, so there's a lot you can that I do. I feel like I don't really stick to something specific. But I do tend to just make just a simple like just sine waves. Just everything is sine wave for me, and then just a bunch of post processing afterwards.
That's interesting to hear because I listen to your music and I don't just think sound wave or sine wave. I hear and this is probably the resampling talking, but I like that sharpness. Obviously, it's not a sound wave, but I feel like yeah, that's probably like a lot of reverb on top of that. What kilohertz resampling pack or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I use a lot of like samples and just kind of fuck with it as much as I can to make it sound weird, like just different. Um, the whole like high pitch stuff, I usually just make like a growl sound and just like literally go up the octave until I hear like pitch a certain way. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
that's pretty much it. Cut the low end, throw a bass underneath, and that's it. But literally, it all starts off with like a sine wave, and then I probably do like the um, the FM from B, and then go from
FM.
there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. FM from
When you
B.
go to yeah, on like on Serum and stuff, and then just yeah, that's pretty much it. Like my oscillator A is always gonna be like a sine wave.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
everything else I probably just do an oscillator B, put whatever fucking wavetable I can find, and then just mess with it.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So that's I don't want to like that sounds like a standard process and like as a fan who's invested in you, like I don't my brain is rejecting this. Uh,
One thing I used to use a lot was it's funny because I think Ableton this is 11, right? I think the new one came out with.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot. They took it off. But I put it back. I put it back from the old one. It's you know what Yo Man is, the chorus.
You know, I don't know what Yo Man is.
Okay, well, it's literally every fucking rhythm producer I feel like would like I think used to use this, or at least that's what my other friends have told me. But I will use it on my sounds. Dude, I'll send it to you on Discord if you want. Here, I don't
I'm
mind.
writing it down in my notes. How do you spell Yo Man?
Watch, no, I'll literally send it over to you right now. Just throw it. It's a chorus. It's like the old Ableton chorus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then literally you just put it on a sound and it makes that weird metallic sounding. It makes a metallic sound basically,
So
and that's
it
what I
was a
used to use.
Ableton stock, and then they took it off.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Ah,
like it was under like the chorus. So under chorus, on like it had like different presets, and I would just always use that Yo Man.
gotcha.
Yeah,
That's huh.
and
Huh.
it gives that metallic like rhythm like sound. Does that make sense?
No, it does because your sound design definitely rides that line of rhythm sound, right?
Yeah,
Like because your rhythm is not rhythm. It's like
yeah.
super bassy and trappy and I love that. But now that I think about it, if I hear your sound design, easily that can go in any rhythm track.
Yeah, I like that. That has always been like goal. I'm happy you say that. Like if whoever's playing like rhythm DJ, bass DJ, whatever it is like my song would always try to fit there somehow, and that's like my biggest goal.
I think I mean yeah, that's a big reason I'm a fan because so rhythm as you know I don't like rhythm for the same reason I don't go to a house show. Like
Yeah, no.
I'm just gonna get bored. I know myself I'm gonna get bored at some point because I want rhythm switch ups.
Yes.
So but that you're giving me my daily dose of rhythm without giving me the full rhythm. So thank you for that.
Sick. No, yeah, like again, I'm actually it's funny because I'm the same way. Like I can't go to all rhythm show. Like I was gotta have maybe if I have like there's one rhythm DJ playing, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dope. I just can't do too much of like I'm the same way. Like tempo changes, everything a little bit, rhythm change.
Yeah.
It's nice. So I'm the same as you, but I don't know. I just gotta. I love simplicity, man. I think if you can make a sick song and make it as simple as possible, that is huge. I think that's so dope.
I'm not okay. I'm not. I don't mean anything by this. What's like the average amount of tracks? I guess you'd have in a song. Then, like I know that number probably varies so much.
Lately,
Yeah, lately
it's
is
been
probably
like
the best one.
50, 60. Like not a lot.
Yeah,
Like I at least to me, I feel like I've seen other people have like 80 to 100.
Right.
I'm like, damn, like, how do you have 80 to 100? Like, I feel like 50 is and the reason I have 50 is because I would do like a wub or something, right? A sound design thing
Yeah.
was going on, and then I would duplicate that and change it up a little bit, and then duplicate that again and change it up a little bit. So I have different variations of everything going on. So that's why it ends up being like 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
But
so it's like kind of 50 before the mix down in a way.
yeah, yeah. So like of like maybe half of that, 40, 30, maybe around there. Then realistically, probably less than that, maybe.
True.
Um, of just like kick, snare, hi hats. Yeah, just stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. That's nice.
I've learned to like, because sometimes you want to like put a bunch of different things, and honestly, I've learned if while putting all these different things into your music, if you can't find a certain sound that fits into the place of your whole song, take it out. Because
Yeet.
if it's not fitting in your song anywhere, and you just having it there because it just sounds cool, maybe or something,
Yeah.
just take it out. Just take it out. Just use it for a different song or something. You
Yeah, I
know.
think yeah, making it work or feel like I've gotten lost in the idea that I am the sound god. If this doesn't sound good, I can make it sound good.
Yeah, no. If it doesn't sound good into music, it's not meant to, or into that song, it's not meant to go into that song.
Yeah. If your heart doesn't have a direction, then it probably doesn't have a direction.
Yeah, because I was the same way. I would try to like fit things where like it just didn't really fit. Um, and I've had a lot of feedback from people. It's like this doesn't really fit. I'm like, oh, but it sounds so cool. I want it to fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
Um,
the idea is more in your head than it is like out on on the project in a way.
yeah, maybe I like to use like fills a lot, if you can tell,
Yeah.
and I would have like this like melody fill, and it was off key, but I like the way it sounded in like that key I was in, but it wasn't in the key of my song. And people were like, "Oh no, this is off key, man. This is
Yeah.
throwing me off." And I'm like, "You're probably right." And I'm like, "But I'm gonna just keep it in there." And I heard from different people same thing. I'm like, "All right, maybe it's throwing people off a little bit, then I can't have it in the song."
Right. Yeah, and there's like there's certainly a judgment call that I'm sure you get better at making later in your career when when people don't exactly vibe with something initially, and sometimes you can really hammer it in and say no, this is how the song is supposed to sound like, and keep listening, but then
Mhm.
other times it's like this is preventing me from sharing like what's actually in my head with other
Yeah,
people. And I
yeah.
think
It's
striking
it's
a
good to
balance is
have.
important.
It's good to have other ears for sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes those other ears can be like, "No, man, this doesn't work." And be like, "You know what? It works to me." And then you make your judgment call and like, "I'm gonna release it no matter what."
Right. Yeah.
you know. Um, but yeah.
So, all right, I want you to pick. I'm gonna list 5 songs here, and they're all yours. And
Okay.
like I said, I want to be very conscious of your time. So I know you just told me you got to run some errands, so I will wrap things up when needed.
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah.
So,
No rush.
sweet. So the one I wrote down my 5 favorites because I was listening to your shit for like 2 hours beforehand.
Thank you.
So the ones that I noted wrote down as my favorites were Reality, Alien, Selfish, fucking made the cut,
Sweet.
and Move That Dope.
Move that dope. Wow, that song.
It's fucking it's old, man. I know I have a personal attachment to that song because that was I think the first one that I put on my radio show because it was
That's that's one of my first songs I made on Ableton, I think, or something. Like that's one of my first songs um I feel like I put out. I feel like I think.
um
Uh,
were you using Pro Tools before then?
no, no, no. I was using
I felt like
FL Studio. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Okay. So what was the sorry?
Yeah, yeah,
I got
no,
a
no,
little bit.
it's all good. If you want, look, I want to listen to one and maybe do a little small breakdown. Do you want to pick
Okay.
one of those 5?
Um.
Or I actually
Yeah.
only listed 4.
I think yeah. I could do a breakdown. I don't mind. What was the top one you said?
All right, I'll list. It's Reality, Alien, Selfish, or Move That Dope.
Okay. I wonder if I still have some of those project files. I probably still do somewhere in there. Um, but I guess we can do reality.
Hi.
That was your first one. Um,
When I say the breakdown, like if you want to pull out the project file, that works. But we can just listen to the song together, and maybe you can tell me what's going on, like what you were feeling. Especially because this one's probably got to be really fresh.
Yeah, for sure. With reality, this was like when I started figure. I got into like that. What do they call it? Hybrid trap, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I think so.
Like that,
Yeah,
that scream trap, whatever. I think. Okay, I think this is it. Um, and I wanted to give it a shot. I really wanted to like to do like, oh, this is what I want to kind of shift my sound to. Um, and that's like the I don't know. That's a little like the backstory of it. I didn't think the song was gonna do. Wow, that's 20 point. I didn't think that song was gonna do that good, to be honest. I thought it did pretty okay.
it's
Uh,
so funny seeing 2 years next to this because I totally remember this dropping
yeah. Let me see if because I have it. I don't know if everything. Yeah. A lot of the sounds aren't here.
for a reality.
Yeah.
That's all cool. Like the actual sound files, you mean?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the sound design stuff, like all the I don't even know what's going on here.
true.
But I can try my best and break it down like a different way.
Yeah, yeah. If you, yeah, I guess wherever you're more comfortable. If it's too difficult, or if you think it'll be too difficult, just by like listening by ear, and then kind of just giving me the backstory or like things that you specifically remember doing to the sound. Here, I'm gonna share my screen, and then we'll see how we do.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. You in the stream, bud?
Yes.
Nice. All right, cool. So the way I did it yesterday, I'm gonna play, and then I'm gonna pause when I hear something interesting. I'll ask you something.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so that is that like a grain delay in the background?
So actually, okay, so we're doing selfish, not reality then.
Yeah, sorry, I did selfish.
Okay, that's fine. I do have the project file for that one,
Okay,
actually, so I can actually pull that up if you want.
whatever you're feeling, whatever's
Okay.
easiest. Yeah,
Yeah, I could just pull it up.
nice.
I know I called selfish something different. Uh, Give me like 1 minute.
Yeah, I know. Take your time. All right, this is me speaking to the chat. I really like this song. Um, Definitely less screechiness, but you got or there's the hi hats. They're or not the hi hats. Those snare build ups are pretty sharp.
Yeah. I going back and I'm like, ooh, I probably should have EQ's a little bit better.
It's not
Cool.
a fatal flaw.
I have the project file. I can probably share my screen now.
Oh,
Come
cool.
on for you to see it.
Yeah, actually, this could work well for me too.
And then I don't know if you can see it.
Oh no, yeah. I'm gonna share. Oh boy, what the hell just happened? Discord. Okay, there you are. Ooh, that was scary. All right, cool. Yeah, so I can share you now on the stream.
Dope. And then you have audio. Right?
Yeah, I hear some audio on my end here.
I think you're
Yeah,
yeah.
now I have a little glitch here. Just gotta display capture existing. You know what? This is just how this is gonna work. There it is. All right.
Dope. And I want to make sure I'll play something so you can hear like audio and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. So let me.
That's the mastered version. Okay.
All right, stream. Here we are. Breakdown of Selfish.
Yes, sir. Okay, so what did you want to know in the beginning? You said with the
Sounded like
hi-hats
there
and
was
stuff.
like a granular. It sounded like a grain delay. With the oh man, it sounded like there's a vocal being distorted in the background.
think you're probably talking about. Yeah, that little. That is just a sample I just found. I think I
Cool.
don't know
Yeah.
where a splice. Yeah. Oh, AC Slayer. There you go. Just a sample.
Okay. Cool.
Just doing that.
Yeah. It's really interesting or when you when you hear things like that nowadays, you have no idea if it's coming from the producer or a different producer,
Or the
like in a
sample.
sample
Yeah.
pack. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. I got to a point where I'm like, fuck it. Like, as long as the main stuff of the song is like by me, I think I'm fine. I'm okay with. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The intro, nothing going on there. It's just so simple. It's just that vocal, the hi hat. I am gonna take off the master. I feel like just nothing.
Huh.
And then
So
drop.
then, are those? I've actually, yeah. So did you build that, or did you make that build
Build
up?
up,
Yeah.
build up. No, did not make the build up at all. Again, this was like a lazy track that I really did. Um,
Dude,
I
I
normally
use
do,
cymatics all the time. That's so
dude.
comforting.
It just like it. If it works, it works, man. I was like, whatever. But yeah, again, build the whole intro build is nothing going on.
Nada.
One thing you can see that the way I do things now, I think everyone should do is I have my kick and snare, tom, melodic, vocals, bass, and like sub. Actually, now I have my basses and the sub in two different groups.
Oh,
FX,
yeah.
yeah, and fills. So groups on groups on groups. Just and there's everything that should. Sometimes it's kind of bad for people because they feel like they have to put something in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's fine if you like work around it, like make a new track, put everything where you want to go, then kind of organize it later.
Yeah.
I think organizing helps a lot, and it kind of helps in like, for example, like in all of my like melodic stuff. Just I have an EQ on there that cuts the low end because all the low end that needs to be coming through there is on the like my basses and stuff.
So do you find that that'll like interfere with frequencies if you don't cut it out? That's something I think I learned.
Yeah, it's just like also like it's like I could just I do it like I will have to do it every single track basically.
Okay.
So either
Yeah.
way I'm doing it, I'll be doing it no matter what.
Yeah.
Um,
So where did the girth of the sound design come for this song then?
this one. So you see what I mean when there's like a bunch of like different serums and stuff.
Yeah, I see like probably what three or
Um,
four serum patches right here.
yeah, there's like three right here, and then for the second part, there's another two and three.
Gotcha. Damn.
So yeah, a lot. See, I'm telling you, the Mac can hold a lot.
Yeah, it's looking
Yeah,
it's
and then
looking
another
live,
serum,
bro.
but this is like the low end, right?
Yeah.
And then this is the sound right here. Nothing much going on. Just OTT, a disperser, and then it's literally just this weird. It's called cream oscillator. Filter, distortion, phaser, compressor, reverb, and the filter. That's it.
What? Okay, if you turn all those off, what does it sound like? I'm just
Let's
curious.
see.
I have an idea, but I just want to know. Huh. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Wow, when these things get smashed together, it's sometimes really hard to hear what sound is what sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think one of the biggest, I don't know if it's a compliment, but it's when the kick and the bass and the sub all just fuse and sound like one instrument. It's beautiful, but it's goddamn intimidating.
it's it. So now like because before I would try to like complicate a lot of things as well before I would leave music and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a phase where I was like, oh, I had to do more complicated stuff. Like you really don't have to do complicated stuff.
Yeah.
I would get I would always send my music to like some Twitch streams and like see what they say, and a lot of them were like, "You trying to complicate things way too much, man." And I was like, "They're right." So I'm gonna make something simple, and like this is one of the ones where like, "Oh, this is sick," because
Yeah.
it's simple. It's just literally, and then I know I have 3 different serums, but they're all the same thing pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just the same thing. There's nothing different going on this serum.
Yeah. The melody is
Just
pretty
just
like,
effort from B, but everything else is the same.
huh. So are you switching up the bass from drop one and drop two right there? It looks like.
Just adding just something a little, a little something to make it a little bit slightly different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
A little something, something, if you will.
yeah. Like, but literally, that's what so I make a main like bass sound, I guess you can say, and then I put like 2 or 3 other ones and just change it slightly. That could be from like changing the filter cutoff a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Just yeah, you don't
Or like notching it, right?
or
Like,
notching it, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing. Maybe add an extra like OTT even. I don't know. Add an extra maybe add one of those kilohertz bundles I told you about earlier. Like there's you don't I just don't think you have to like I feel like if you try to your hardest to make it super complicated, it's just not gonna work the way you want it to.
When you say you have your basses and your subs separated, that's like something that I've recently started coming across more. What do you mean by that? Like,
So
how do you differentiate a sub frequency from a bass frequency?
so I would say I know this sounds kind of the same thing. So I make a sound on Serum, right? And then I would cut the low end, so from 200 hertz, right?
Yeah.
I would cut it off, and so this is what it sounds like, right? Whoops, sorry. Because if I had the low end on this, it would sound like where is it? I think it's on the main. What do I have it on? Where is it? Did I do it on this song? What?
For your sub?
There we go. Mids. I put it. It's kind of complicated the way I did it. Mids and highs, right?
Okay.
So see, without it, you hear the low end. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
I took it off,
Oh.
and then I will add another serum with just so 200 and below, basically, right? See,
Oh.
without it,
Gotcha.
nothing really going on, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of. And
Is
then,
that still under that 200 mark right there?
yeah, it's one.
Nice.
Actually, I have it at 120. Actually,
Oh, sick. Okay.
yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
it gives you more control, and sometimes putting. So one thing I've seen or like I've done is like when you make a bass sound and later on the post processing part comes in and you're putting all these different time based effects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It messes the sound, especially the low end, a lot. So it's better to just make another track, just do a clean, simple sub, like a sine wave, right? Literally. Maybe add a couple distortions here and there. And that's it. And just have it follow the same thing. Because if you see the notes, it's the same exact thing pretty much.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. There's no melody really, or no
No.
big melody in that bass.
No.
I find that really interesting in a lot of, I don't know if it's rhythm or experimental bass music. The sound design kind of comes up with its own melody sometimes. And I can't, it's either you harness that or you just kind of let it
I've seen a
fly.
lot of people literally just have like mine is just one note pretty much. It's just also just the way maybe just where you're filtering things or just the way maybe some like effect that you have makes it sound a little bit different each time. So that helps a little bit too. At the end of the day, it's all like your ears. Like, sure, I have one note playing, but like at the end of the day, if it sounds interesting and cool, it sounds cool and interesting.
Right. Yeah. It's well, I think it's easy to have your eyes deceive you when you're building this.
Yes, for sure. Because I'm like, fuck, I just played the same note the whole time. I'm like, but it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I kind of see it that way.
Trust your ears. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's something, and also I learned in class. Trust your ears. If it sounds good to you, it probably like sounds pretty good.
Do you want to maybe skip over to the second drop?
Yeah. So come over here, second drop,
Cool.
and then second drop. Oops.
Where's that
So that's,
harmonic coming from?
I think it should be right. That's the bass. Yep. And then I think I added it down here. Later on, I see it has a different color. I added it back into like the group, whatever.
Okay.
It's just, I think it's just honestly a sine wave with the ring mod. I don't know if you can see my serum. I just realized. Can you see my serum?
I can't actually.
Okay, so
that's all right.
literally, it's just basic shapes, right?
Yeah.
It's and then on the filter, if you go to miscellaneous, it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth one down, ring mod,
Okay. Okay.
and then you have it just that I don't know how to explain it. It's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
then
Ring mod.
it's
Ring.
literally it's the volume's all the way up. It's just I think it's the oh my god, is that it?
Is that it? Yeah.
You
I
hear a
don't.
clicking sound? Here, hold on.
I hear it now. Yeah.
It's you know why I can't hear it?
Why?
Actually, good question. Why can't? Where's the?
I hear the clicks, and when you
This is a
play.
click.
Yeah.
Is it too? Is it too high?
Huh.
There we go. Sorry, that hurt your ears.
No, you're good. You didn't.
So, it was literally in like, it's just a sine wave. So it's just so low, I think.
Oh, and then you put that ring mod on it, and it kind
And then the
of.
ring mod on there.
Oh, okay.
It might be a
Gotcha.
little loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Yep. See, and that's it.
That's
And I have
such a guilty pleasure.
and I have like the filter cut off, move a little bit slightly, so that's why you hear more high pitched here, and then it goes lower, then back again to
Oh,
high. Oh,
yeah.
back again high, and then back to low. What's that?
Nice.
And literally on like the post processing, it's just an EQ cutting out the lows. So it's
Beautiful.
not even doing anything. You can see the little.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
It's not doing.
It's just dangling
It's
in the
just
wind right there.
an extra little like. See, this is also an example of something tiny and small that just kind of fits. Because without it, like, I feel like I was missing something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. I like those type of.
I like that sound a lot too.
Yeah, I like that sound a lot.
It's
What
it's
else?
it's so interesting to me, kind of where different people choose to stop. You know, so like because when I find my sound and consider finding my sound, one of my biggest struggles is like probably not trusting my ears. You know, there you go. There you go.
One
Yeah,
thing I would say about to do, man, is
yeah.
next time you go up and be Ableton or whatever and make a song, just say I'm gonna make the most simplest song I can make,
Okay.
and just go off that.
Huh.
And maybe you would, and I'm like seriously, don't complicate things. Just make something simple. People like simple. You know what I mean? Like sure they like complicated stuff, you know, but like maybe the way the guy did it, whoever did it, made it in the most simplest way. You know what I mean?
I think yeah. I'm rephrasing it for my own sake. I feel like even in a lot of music that might seem complicated at its
Yes.
core, I feel like there is something simple that you're latching onto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then again, don't be afraid to use samples and stuff. Cause I think on like I have just this going on in the background.
Yike. Yike.
I don't even know what it's an ARP or something. I have the kilohertz bit crusher, grain delay, this harmonic adder I found that's free, and
Nice.
this resonator. I think the resonator is doing everything pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And that's pretty much
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And you can barely hear, I think, on the song.
I wouldn't have noticed that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something subtle. Same thing. And then I have that's me saying every time.
That's you what? Every
Saying
time.
every time. Because the song was gonna be called Every Time I, and I was like, I don't like that name, so I just called it
Ah.
Selfish. So it's music every time.
Gotcha. Nice.
And then you can barely hear it. And it's like just nothing. OTT, sidechain, that's pretty much it. And then EQ.
Um, what just to I think this is a good direction. What does your mastering process look like from here, right?
Yeah. Well, after I kind of get to this point, I mix it down a little bit. Now, when
Yeah.
I start mixing, I grab my utility, turn it on, and put it in mono and start listening. And listen to how everything sounds like, and um, just kind of mix it. Basically, I'm like remixing it again in mono. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's something I learned in school.
So
Um,
so and what's the benefit in doing that? Like the biggest benefit in doing that?
because from a lot of from what I heard, like when you go and play like shows and stuff, what was it? The sometimes a lot what people listen to a lot, like the bass isn't like the how do I explain this? Fuck, I just lost my train of thought the way I was gonna say it too. God fucking damn it. Um,
Primary benefit of mixing in mono, or why you would
yeah,
ever want to mix in mono.
yeah. So if it sounds good in mono, it would probably sound good in like stereo.
That's
Okay.
that's that's a
A,
fair deduction.
a lot of stuff, a lot like your most important stuff is mono, right?
Like your
Us is
sub, right?
exactly like
Yeah.
we make bass music. The most important part, what you want to sound good is the bass and stuff, right?
Interesting.
So you really want to focus on that. That's something I want to invest in is they're called Avantones, if you know what they are.
I don't. I've
They're
never heard of
okay,
that.
so they're super dope. They're like small little speakers that really you only hear like the mid frequencies,
Huh.
right? Like mid frequencies are so important in music. Those are like the biggest things in music. And then so I want to get one of those because it would be a cool little reference thing to have. I know I currently also I intern at a studio over here where I live, and he has those, and he literally uses them 80% of the time instead of his other like $100,000 speakers that he has. I'm like, how come you use them so much? He's like, because the mid frequency is just the most important thing, and then you want to throw it in mono to see how your bass, your kick, and stuff sound like, because it's also something really important, you know.
Interesting.
And then you just it there's just so simple tools that you have to use. I feel like to make your song sound kind of good. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense.
That makes me reminisce and feel like yeah, I completely agree. Because I just wonder if that's what is the most important part of music, because kind of what mastering is, which is like making your song sound good on all mediums. And
Exactly.
and then there's our biggest problem, or my biggest problem, which I'm sure you've encountered, which is like you don't have headphones on you and you're trying to show your homie this new bass track and it sounds weak as
hmm
fuck coming out of your phone speakers.
It pretty much sounds it kind of sounds like mono in a way, right? You don't hear the like it, or
Yeah, there's no panning coming from your
there's
phone
no
when you
panning coming
yeah.
on. So like that's another important thing. Like think about where people listen to their music nowadays and whatever they use. Like I feel like a lot of people nowadays have AirPods, right?
Right.
I feel like that's kind of so. I have AirPods.
Yeah.
Every time I finish a song, I wait a little bit, throw on my AirPods, and play it,
And then
and then whatever
would you mix in your AirPods then, or do you kind of calibrate and go back to the drawing board?
that
Uh,
calibrate and kind of go back to the drawing board because
okay.
you have to think about like how do you make a song sound good in all platforms? It's pretty hard, you know,
Yeah.
because everything sounds slightly different, But um, that's basically what you just said. Is what I do. When it comes to mastering chain, though, real quick, um, this is crazy. I learned this from my internship.
Yeah.
So this guy had a bunch of plugins, right? He uses them all the time, and every time I see him use it, I feel like he doesn't really turn the knobs too much. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Sure. Yeah.
He goes into the presets, goes down to each preset until he finds something good to hear, like it sounds nice. Then he goes and like deep dives everything and turns some knobs around, whatever you may be using, right?
Okay.
And I was like, that was interesting. He's like, and this guy, like, by the internship, like, he worked on a lot of songs, like a lot of like really famous songs.
Yeah.
I can't think right off the top of my head, but like I trust him a lot. And you know what? Like a lot of the people from my school do the same thing. They just open up a plugin. Like I have this like it's called BX Master Deck, and I just went through um the like presets and then just found something where okay, that sounds pretty cool, and then just mess with some knobs and that's it. Like it's that simple.
Huh. Oh,
These
okay. So rather than like kind of, you mean like rather than opening a plugin and kind of envisioning exactly what you need, and then
yeah,
building that, you're just kind of using a reference point first.
there you go. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yes. So these plugins, they're from Plugin Alliance. I've been using a lot of their stuff just because of school. This was like a
Gotcha.
free pack that I got. I don't know if it's still free. But definitely go check out Plugin Alliance. They have a fuck ton of like sale every single week.
If
So
oh, sorry, I just can't. Plugin Alliance. I'm gonna write that down. I just couldn't see the things that you were opening because
I know I was like
yeah.
looking on them and I'm realizing that you probably can't see them. Honestly, a lot of them are just presets, man. I probably
Okay.
just tweaked very slightly.
Okay.
I can turn them off and just kind of you can hear what I did. So first one, I'm not gonna open it, but
Yeah.
this is so without it, right? Without it, then with one of them on, it's just it's literally slightly louder.
For sure. I can dig it.
Super slight.
Yeah.
I basically don't need to have it on there.
Okay. It basically
Um,
doesn't exist.
no. Which is funny. A lot of the things that a lot of people do that. And then this one is called Solo. I think it's just to make it more stereo width. I don't do this anymore, but it's just an old process thing that I did.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it actually does anything at this point. We'll find out. It makes it a little bit stereo. Hardly nothing.
Okay.
The biggest thing is this guy.
Okay. There's a little, few
Yeah,
few things
so
going on there. Yeah.
yep. Let me see to make sure. All right. Start off with utility. I just turned the gain up a little bit. Bass mono, right? Because you want everything 120 and lower mono.
Gotcha.
I don't do this anymore. This is not really much the width thing. I thought it was doing something. It really isn't.
Okay.
So that's the one thing I do to make sure everything, 120, 200, whatever below is mono. That's one thing for you want to do. I love the utility what they had that bass mono thing they have.
Yeah. I've never actually
Um,
used it, and now that I've just heard it in a
use
sentence,
it.
I'm gonna use it.
Use it honestly because those things have to not have to. There's no really rules. I say have to because that's what I learned in school.
Uh-huh.
But just make sure. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be mono. It is just the way I see it as. Next I have a Fab Filter Pro Q3. Not you can't see it, but it's doing nothing except for turning up the gain 2 decibels.
Gotcha.
Nothing. To hear because there's the background sound. Like so. Let me turn this off actually. So mastering at the end of the day is literally turning up the gain little by little by little by little.
Interesting. And then like having different tools to mess with certain like gain parameters or
Yeah.
frequency slots.
Yes, exactly. This I learned from a guy, YouTube, Dr. Ozzy.
Dr.
He has a video up
Ozzy.
there. So go search him up. He has a mastering video. It's super cool. This is called frequency split. So you put a multi-band compressor, right? So
All
you
right.
put low, mid, and high. So right, you will put a multi-band compressor in each one, and like just made it so solo the low on the low part, mids and highs, right?
Yeah.
He does a better explanation of everything. Where'd he go? That's pretty much it, and it kind of just like spread everything out a little bit more. So without it, I'm gonna play a drop. With it,
I hear that. Yeah. Okay.
right? I was like, whoa! I like how that's everything's kind of seems more spread out.
Did it do
Um,
anything It sounds like the bass got widened a bit.
It did got wide a little bit, which actually I think I somewhere I put it mono again. I just don't know where exactly.
All good. That's a pretty large. That's a thick mastering chain right
That
there.
was the yeah. This is actually can be pretty dangerous, like you said. It made the bass really wide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, OTT. Um, line just I learned this. Who did I learn this from? I think it was Killfeed. I think his name was. I took I did like a little course with him or something, and he just showed me to use OTT on your master, but like very very slightly.
Interesting.
It's just the depth at 50%, time 100, and there's upward and downward compression at 50%. That's all it's doing.
Okay.
And so with it, really like beefs it up. And then I use another Fat Filter Pro. So I probably can't see it. I keep forgetting. I cut off about 20,000 hertz because the human ear cannot hear that.
Above 20,000, right?
That's what I meant. I said below, right?
I think you
I
did.
meant,
Yeah.
I, meant,
It's all-
I,
it's
meant,
all
I
good.
meant I meant above. Sorry.
I actually wasn't even trying to correct you. I was just saying things to myself.
No. I know. I'm just like I've been making music all day. My brain's a little fried, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no human ear can hear that, so there's no point. Just cut it.
Just cut it. Okay. Yeah.
Cut it
Well,
off.
That's interesting.
Yeah, just and then before I would cut off the 20 hertz and below, right? That's below. But I feel like it was messing with like some low frequencies. I don't know. I didn't like the way it sounded. Then I have a limiter, saturator, and then a G clip, and that's pretty much it. And then loud.
Wait, what does the G clip do? Because I was
It's
talking
just-
about G clip yesterday. So that's
It's just going up 3 dB.
oh, okay.
Yeah, just another gain. Just turning up volume.
So it sounds like mastering is just a lot of gain staging almost.
It's exactly that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I use a lot. So I use the plugins you for sure want to get are this levels and this clarity. Ignore them. I don't use them. But the Voxengo span.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you use that or if you know what that is.
I know what it is, but I
1,000
don't use it. What is? How do
Oh
you
my
use
god!
it?
It is okay. So I wish I could show you. You can't see if I open it
If
up,
you,
right?
so I think if you share your screen a different way, like instead of choosing the application, choose like screen.
Like the whole thing.
Yeah, but that's how we would be able to see it. If you want to do that, otherwise you can keep explaining. Oh, nice. Here we go. Now I can see.
nice.
But I won't be
So-
able to hear Ableton. That seems to
That's
be
fine.
All right,
This is more visual here.
great.
So the 30 is like kind of like the tipping point, I guess you can say,
Okay.
right? You see it kind of like falls right. You know what? What I'll do? Hold on. There we go. See how it kind of all falls right there
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
I try not to go past 24. So I think if you have another like tune, I need a round tune. Make sure my master chain is off. This is gonna just destroy everything. Where to go? Okay. Oops, it's deactivated. This song is fucking loud. Let's see. Damn, he must have it really compressed because holy shit. Why is that so loud? Do I have something on this? I do have something on. That's why. There we go. That makes sense. Boom. You see how everything kind of lands like right there?
What's exactly at 30?
Like that's like 0. I think of it as like that's where everything's supposed to kind of hit. You see a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see this line right
That
here.
line, that I wasn't looking at the that horizontal
good.
line, right?
The bass is fine. It can go high. Again, I think above 24 is like clipping hard. Like,
Okay.
it's just yeah. But you kind of want everything to hit like right there.
So it's really good to get that visual.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
there-
make sure your correlation meter here
Yeah.
is always like never below like 0.
Okay.
Do you know what that means? Do you know what that is?
I have no clue.
That's phase cancel. That's phasing. It's phasing.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
you gotta phase cancel your stuff and everything. So make sure
Okay,
it's always like pointing to the right hand side.
gotcha. And so
So
are you kind of saying with the with you kind of want your low frequencies and your higher frequencies matching that same volume line, that 0 dB?
yes,
Okay.
correct. That
Okay.
30. Yeah. See, they're kind of like there at the same time.
Right.
Obviously, bass music, the bass is always a little bit higher, but yeah.
Okay.
That's why sometimes it's nice to have like that, like those Evatones, because they focus on this area right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's good to maybe it's not good to like turn off your bass and stuff and mix that way because you want everything to match perfectly. But it's nice to kind of turn it off here and there and see how everything else sounds like without the bass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because then you kind of hear what bass
Yeah. But
interference
sometimes
what you
like
were hearing.
you would do that. You would like take the bass off, mix it, and then you put the bass back up, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck just happened? My song sounds weird now. Sounds a bit
Yeah,
weird."
really different. Because
Yeah. So careful with that. But yeah, I use this tool heavily. Normally on mine, you would have a cutoff about like right, like you see little, the down
yeah,
line part.
yeah.
It would be cut off
So you use it to oh,
to
okay, yeah.
visualize.
You use it to visualize, and so like one thing, or okay, so when you pull this up, let's say like you're working on a track, and you're trying to volume balance things. Is that what it's used for the best?
Yeah, kind of a
All
lot.
right,
So a lot
cool,
of my yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what the whole idea is.
awesome,
And then
yeah.
I use the loudness meter right
Uh-huh.
here. It's called Yoli Loudness Meter 2. It's
Okay,
free also. So I try a lot of music nowadays. I think -6 to -8 LUFS is like loud and pretty what everyone does pretty much at this point.
gotcha.
So I don't know if you know what that means.
Not at all.
So it's I forget it's an abbreviation or something, but I forgot what it was. It's just
Loud
later.
units.
Yeah, it's something like that. But that's how like realistically how loud your song really is.
Okay, so like perceived volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so again, -8 to -6 is what most majority of like EDM is at. Because
Gotcha.
I play like a different song, like some pop song, it probably wouldn't. I don't think it would probably hit that much. I don't think they liked it being that loud.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it,
No,
honestly.
I've learned a lot. So
That kind of
mission
helps.
accomplished.
I'm not good
Certainly.
at explaining things. I'm horrible at explaining stuff. So hopefully that it helped a little bit.
Well, you were
Another
good
thing
at
I'm
you were
gonna
good at showing me things, man. So
yeah, I'm better at showing. Another thing to use a lot is return tracks.
I sleep on those pretty often.
Biggest thing to start off with, reverb and delay. Use return tracks. It just it. I would advise to watch a video about it to listen to see how they explain it better because I'm horrible at explaining things, but it's just it just works really well. You want to have like a return track so I have like a snare reverb. I have like um a reverb for like my leads and stuff like that. I never put it directly on the actual track itself. Uh, yeah,
Oh wait, okay, so that makes sense. It kind of feels like okay, I like to translate Ableton to like a real space, and if you have like one master like reverb rack like in a real room, that's better
hmm
than having like 5 or 7 reverb pedals on 5 or 7 different instruments.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. You want to like because you're running the kick through this reverb and then it's running to the master.
Oh,
And then
right.
so
Yeah,
you're
okay.
able to control the reverb a bit more. Also, my reverbs, I like, for example, my bass in my like snare and stuff. I cut off the low end because you don't need to have that.
Right.
What else do I have on here? Delay. So a lot of like when you record, you have like a room mic. I don't know if you know much about recording.
I think I know what a
Um,
room mic is, kind of like something that'll pick up like artifacts that bounce off the
the whole
walls.
room.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I basically have you normally would put reverb on the room mic and then it just makes it sound so much more wider. I
Yeah.
try to kind of make it sound where I'm having like a room reverb type thing going on to make things sound a bit more wider. Because I've noticed with going to school that I don't understand how like people would make music and stuff just sounds so nice and wide and like everything just seems in place. And that's just like a lot of reverb and stuff going on, delay and like the time-based effects that they use.
That's pretty interesting because,
Yeah, I'm still learning that, so it's hard for me to explain because I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
well, wherever you are in the learning process, Leo, like it's so hard to hear, or not hard to hear that. It translates differently in my brain when you're like, I still have a lot to learn because I'm out. Like I said, I just spent 2 hours listening to your music, and I don't hear that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's so much. I think my music could be so much better.
What
Uh,
what kind of? I know we talked about it at the beginning. You meant like what? Do you want to get better at production, or do you want to get better at like arrangement and like kind of
I
fit?
think arrangement. I kind of got the hang of it.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay with the arrangement part.
gotcha.
Um, maybe for sure on the production part is
Cool.
my biggest thing.
That makes sense because arrangement seems to be the thing that allows producers to put out tracks, and then sound design
Yes.
seems to be the thing that gives them like that other axis, that depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
And that's
that's
pretty
awesome.
much it.
Cool, man. I didn't expect a full Ableton breakdown, but we got it, and I couldn't be happier.
I get into it when I start talking about music sometimes.
Fuck yeah, man. No, I'm really glad. I'm gonna get rid of your Ableton screen. Just
Oh
heads
yeah, I
up.
forgot it
Yeah,
was right on there.
all good. Boom. Back to business. Save them. All right, cool. Yeah, man. I mean, we've been at it for sort of 2 hours.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. How do you feel? Like, thanks for coming on the show. I don't want to, don't want to end things abruptly. But I'm thinking we should maybe wind down. I don't have any questions that are like short, you know?
Yeah, no, I kind of have to dip anyways, but I
Yeah.
appreciate like you having me on. This is actually really fun. A lot more nervous just because like I my first time doing something like this, but I appreciate you being the first one to do something like this with me. And yeah, man, thank you. Thank you for having me on. This is dope.
I would not. No, I'm happy to have you on anytime, man. If you want to be a part of my Discord server, we can keep chatting about music anytime. But
Yeah, link it to me.
yeah, I'd love. No, no, thank you for stomaching through the nerves, man. Like it was I think we had a great show, and despite technical difficulties, I learned a lot, and I think my audience will probably really like it too.
I hope so. Yeah, I really do hope so.
Anything? Yeah, anything you want to leave the crowd with, man? Any words of inspiration before I completely officially sign off?
I don't got anything. Just I think inspiration wise, just people just if you're a producer and stuff and listening, just keep making music. Don't overcomplicate things. Be simple. Just make something that you're vibing to. If you're not vibing to it, don't even bother it. Messing with it. If you vibe with it, just keep at it. That's
Those
pretty
are
much it. Yeah.
beautiful. All right. Little business before I do the sign off. We haven't decided what song I was going to play you out with. Do you want me to do that little ID that you sent me?
It doesn't sound the greatest to be honest. I was listening earlier and
It's only on the live stream, so like I clip it out. Um, at the end.
um
Otherwise, I'll play
but
one of my favorites.
play your favorite. How's that?
Sounds good. It's reality or alien. I'm going with alien. Let me find that track. All right. Let's get alien up. I'm trying to stall it. I'm really bad at it.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, Aliens is an old one too. I feel like as well. It's I feel like it's one of my tracks I
I
haven't.
think that one made it on to I have a memory of this one, and I think it's on episode 21. I could be wrong. Yeah, oh yeah, check out those mixes. All right, I found it. Everybody, I Can't Produce a Podcast. This is episode 21 and 21. Well, yeah. thank you all for tuning in. If you're here in the past, present, or future, my name is braV, and yeah, say bye, Leo.
Yeah, thanks guys. See you later.
Peace. Play the song. Play the song, computer. What are you doing? Nice.